Hi everybody, it's Kelly with Soulful Creations, and today's tutorial is going to be on the Rhoda Bag by DFC Bag Patterns. The Rhoda Bag is the most adorable little handbag. Okay, I mean, look at it, and it's just so interesting how she did this flap, and you see it has this opening here where the handle comes up through the flap, and you can see it has a recessed zipper. The flap closes with 2 magnetic snaps, and it opens up over the handle here, okay? Have the recessed zipper, and inside it's really spacious and roomy with a zipper pocket with overlay, and then you have the slip pocket. You have a slip pocket here with trim, and there's plenty of room in this bag. It's a nice medium-sized handbag. Okay, on the bottom you have purse feet, you have some piping detail on the side panels, you have these connectors. You can make your own connectors, or you can use metal connectors if you don't like making your own. But I just think that the design is so cute and so unique, and so I was happy to make this and be able to share it with you today. So look at how secure that is, and it's not that much. Just snap it on, go, put your stuff in it. Oh, I could just see just carrying that on your shoulder, on your arm rather. Anyway, I've been having fun with this one. So this again is the Rhoda Bag. You can add a chain strap if you like, add a chain crossbody strap, or you can make your own crossbody strap. But for me, I would just carry it just like this. I don't think I would use a crossbody strap, but the choice is yours. So get the pattern. The link is in the description. Meet me in your sewing rooms with all your materials ready, and let's get ready to sew the Rhoda Bag by DFC Bag Patterns. Okay, so we're going to get started making our Rhoda Bag by DFC Bag Patterns. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our flat pieces. So you should have 2 flat pieces cut from your exterior, your accent exterior, and you will need your 2 of your magnetic snaps, the male portions or the outie portion of your magnetic snaps, and your stabilizer piece. Okay, I'm using Decaville Heavy for mine, and so you'll notice that I have cut this center piece out. I have marked 3/4 inches around this cut out, and then also 3/4 inches all around. And then over here, this one, I did the same thing, and I've already folded the raw edges in on this center cut out. So I'm going to show you how I did that on this piece. And then I marked my magnetic snap placement on one part, on one half, and it's on this one. So I'm going to add my magnetic snaps to this piece. So, but before I do that, let's get this the raw edges taken care of on this one. So what I did was I made some snips in the corners, okay, making sure that I don't go too far. So this is 3/8 of an inch we're folding in. So I didn't want to go more than 3/8 of an inch. And I'm just doing the corners. So I'm making about 1/4 inch snips in the corners, maybe just a little bit more. Okay, so about 4, I put about 4 in each corner. So just gonna do that. Okay, and I use glue. I use glue on that piece, but I think I'm going to use, the glue doesn't work that well on this vinyl. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and add double-sided tape. So I'm just going to place double-sided tape all around this opening here. curve it around. Okay. And I might have to re-snip where, because I did the snips before I put the tape, so it's okay. Okay, so now I have that. So I'm going to take the backing off the double-sided tape. Okay. And I'm going to start here at these straight edges, and I'm going to bring it into that line. Okay, so right to the 3/4 inch line, like that. I'll do the same thing on this one. Okay, just like that. And then now I'm going to just start curving this. And if I need, so I'm just going to re-snip where I have my double-sided tape. Here goes Jonathan again, my oldest son. He loves to talk loud when I'm recording. So I'm bringing this end over to my 3/4 inch line, and then that way I know how far I need to bring my corners over. Okay, so everything, there we go. So now it's going to look like that. Okay, so bring this, so let me snip where I added the tape, just re-snip. Okay, now I'm going to bring this end over to my 3/4 inch line, and then I'll just gently bring those corners, and they should spread out and round off. Okay, and just make sure it's not looking, you want to make sure it's smooth and it's not pulling. Okay, alrighty. And then on the outside, we'll just smooth it out. Make sure it looks as smooth as you can get it. And then I'm going to just roll it out. Okay. Oops. Okay. All right. Okay. Make sure I have my tape end up on the outside. Okay. So then once we get that going, yeah, I'll just make sure I stick that down better later. Okay, so I'm gonna put a piece of double-sided tape up here. So I'm doing this a little differently than the pattern, because with the pattern she has you also bring all, glue all the raw edges down on the outside as well. What did I drop? I dropped my snap. Okay. Jazzy's going to get that for me like she always does. Thank you, Jazzy. Okay. So, but I thought, why not just sew them right sides together? Leave the top open and then turn it out. That's what I thought. Now, is it a good idea? We're going to find out. So, I'm going to have to add some more tape there. I put some clips there. So now I have that like that. And I'm going to do the same thing for the top of this one. Seems like the glue did hold better than I thought. It was just a pain. I don't like it. Sometimes I don't feel like dealing with the glue. Okay, so I'm going to fold this edge down as well. Okay. All right. So there we go. I'm going to add my snaps. So I'm going to use this to put the slit for my snaps. Go ahead and get my snaps added. Okay. I'm just going to add a little bit of duct tape. Cover the prongs there. Okay. Situated over here. Make sure it doesn't come up anymore. And over here. Okay, once we get it all together, then it'll stay. Okay, so now I have my magnetic snap on. So this one is going to be the lining side. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place these right sides together. Now, like I said, you can follow the pattern where she has you fold these raw edges in, glue them down, or use double-sided tape to hold them down. And then you place some wrong sides together and top stitch. You can do that. I just thought, I'm so terrible at making these curves look so nice and neat that I thought I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to sew them right sides together. But the center part, I have to do that way because once I sew this right sides together, if I were to try to sew these right sides together, then I wouldn't be able to turn it out. So this part in the center for me is easier to do than the whole thing, the whole flap. So let's experiment together and see if this works out. Okay. Okay, now this is worrying me that the glue actually did work better than this tape. This is some marine vinyl and I don't like using it. I don't know why I used it, but I wanted a black that didn't have a lot of texture to it. So I chose it and I don't like it. But we'll see. Okay, so we're leaving this top part open that has the fold at the top. And we're gonna stitch 3/8 7-inch seam allowance all the way around. And let's see how it goes. Okay, make sure you back stitch. Okay, here I go. Just follow those curves. And if it's helpful, you can go ahead and draw your seam allowance in first to make sure that you're keeping an accurate seam allowance. Just taking my time Going around the curves. Come back around and finish it off. Okay, let's see. Let's see, make sure it's gonna work. If not, then I guess I'll have to go back to the drawing board. Okay, so now I'm gonna trim these curves down. And these little corners, so I'm going to trim that down. Trim over here. Okay. And then I'm going to just notch out these curves here. Look at those. Okay, and I'll trim that down too, just a little bit. Get that trimmed just to maybe like a 1/4 inch. Okay, so we're trimming that off. And then trim down. Let me get some different scissors. Bless you, Dad. There goes Sneezy again.
Oh my God.
Okay. She's allergic to something in here.
Apparently.
And I'm just going to trim my seam allowance down, but not all the way to the top. I'm going to leave a little there. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it out carefully. Turn it all out. I got to get inside here. Okay, I'm going to start at the bottom. Turn it out. Seams pushed out. Just the hand there. And then get up here. I'm gonna turn this out. It's gonna look weird at first. Okay. So I'm going to get something there. I'm going to smooth out my seams, push out all my corners. I oiled my machine, so there's a little oil there. That's all. Okay. Then I'll make sure that this gets folded down. Now, here's the tricky part, is going to be making sure that we line this part up together correctly so that it fits together nicely, and then we clip it. But we're gonna do that, but first I have to put my my stabilizer in. I forgot about my stabilizer. So I'm going to get my stabilizer in. So we can just get that in there. Get it in place. Make sure it's under the seam. And I'm just showing you this. I'm going to go ahead and get my seams pressed out good, pushed out good before I get this set in place. But I'm just showing you that it does work. Okay? And you get your stabilizer in place like that. And then we're going to get our window all together. Then we're going to top stitch around this window, and then we're going to top stitch around the whole thing. And I think that works really well. I think that works really well. So your flap is all, you know, you don't have to worry about folding everything in, you know, and then trying to match it all up, because this is a lot to try to match up, and it's a lot of curves. So I think that works well. So let me go ahead and I'm going to get my seams pushed out, and then I'll make sure that this window is sticking down good. And then we're going to come back and top stitch the window and top stitch the flap. Okay, so I got it all clipped together, and I think it looks pretty good. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to top stitch around the outside first and get those clips out of the way. So again, I'm just starting right up here on the side, go up, down one side, and then down up to the other side. Okay, and I'm going to leave some long tails to pull to the back. Okay, don't do anything to the top yet, because that's going to get top stitched once we ready to attach it to the bag. Okay. So there, let's get ready to go. Okay, I have my stabilizer in there. Take your time when you're going around those curves. Okay, just make sure everything is stitching nice. Okay. I dropped something again. Or was that you this time? Jazzy fell asleep.
No.
She fell asleep and fell out the chair again. Okay, so it's all top stitched. Okay, looks great from the front and the back. Okay, I'm going to tie these off. Again, I'm going to pull those up and just bring them through and tie them off inside here. But first, let's go ahead. I'm going to top stitch this window. So let me Just find a place. And again, I'm going to leave long tails and just pull it through the seam there. So I think I'll start over here, because I don't want these clips to be in place for too long. Okay, so here we go. I don't like starting on this side. That's not, everybody has a way they like to, and I like to be on the other side first. I like to sew from this side. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so here we go. I think I want it to be at the top. Okay, so let me go. So here we go, round 1/8 of an inch, top stitching. Making sure everything is staying even together. I didn't silence my phone, Jess. Shame, shame. At least I didn't fall out the chair.
I did not.
Okay. It's looking pretty good. Push that in there. Gotta really take your time. Go around these curves. Okay, so I'm getting around closer to where I started. I'm going to pull this tail out toward the back, get it out the way. Make sure these are out the way. Alrighty. And one more stitch there. All right, there we go. Pull this one to the back, and then those will get tied off. All right. So there's the flap there. All right, I like the way that came out. I'm happy with that, and I think that would have been so much better if I had done it the other way. I mean, if you're good at doing that, it's no problem, but I'm just not. And it's okay to find what works for you, okay? So that, I hope, that this helps anybody who, they shy away from a pattern because of that type of technique, that this is another way, and it comes out just great. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, tie off these ends, and then we're going to come back with the next step in our Rhoda Bag pattern. All right, so now we're ready to add our strap connector onto our side panels. So you should have 2 side panels cut from your main exterior fabric, okay? And it should be interfaced with, I'm using Decaville Light, use whatever, excuse me, interfacing you prefer. This top edge, mark 3/4 inch. I apply some double-sided tape because we're going to fold that down. But before you do that, use the pattern piece to mark where you're going to place your connectors. Okay, you should have 2 connector pieces cut from your accent exterior fabric. They look like this. So I've already completed 1 connector, and I'm going to show you how I did that. So I have cut this one from my vinyl, and then this is just what I'm doing because I feel like the connector needs a little more stability. So this part is not in the pattern, but I want to share with you what I did. So I applied a piece of Decaville Light. So I marked out 1/4 inch all around. I applied a piece of Decaville Light, and it's going all the way up to the top. Then I applied a piece of Decaville Heavy, and I cut off about 3/4 inches off the top. So it's placed on top of the Decaville Light. And I just fused that on. So that's just going to give my connector a little more stability, as I said. So I've applied glue all around here already. I'm using the Weldwood contact cement. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to fold these raw edges in on my connector. And I'm just using the stabilizer to and I'm folding it right up against the stabilizer. Okay, and then when I get to these little corners here, I'm just going to bring that up, bring the corners together. So bring that together, and it's going to form this little triangle there. And I'll do the same thing for this one. And you get those little triangles at the points. Okay. And so after making sure that it's on there really good, then we can just trim these little peaks off. Just make sure you do it nice and even so that you don't want to go too far there. Okay. So, and just make sure it's smooth. So then now your connector looks like this. And then we slide our 3/4 inch D-ring on. And it should go right down to where that 3. So that's why the Decaville Heavy is cut shorter. Okay. Or else it would be too hard to fold over. Okay. And so now we have that. I'm just going to put a piece of double-sided tape right here at the top of my connector to hold it in place. So I just place a piece of double-sided tape there. And again, let me get that. It is kind of snug, but that's okay. And I'm just going to fold that down. Okay. Make sure they're even. Okay, so now you have your connectors. I'm going to add another piece of double-sided tape right there in the center. And then I'll get these centered in place right at that mark for the connector. So just kind of make sure it's there, centered. Okay. All right, so that's one, and then we'll do the other. Okay. All right. So now once you have your connectors on, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to top stitch all around. And again, I'm going to leave some long tails to the back. Let's start here. Make sure it's straight. I like to use a little, I'm just using a piece of Peltex under my foot here, just so I don't tear my vinyl. And I'm just gonna go right across. And then keep it here on the back under my foot. You can use a scrap piece of leather, vinyl, whatever, just as long as there's something there to keep you from tearing your vinyl. Okay. Okay, try to stop at the points and pivot. And so I'm going to pull this tail to the back before I continue. And get my Peltex under there. Okay. There we go. Okay. So now I have my connector sewn on. I'm going to pull the other tail to the back and tie that off. And then for me, I like to add a rivet. So I have some of the little decavils kind of coming through. So I'm just kind of getting that off. Some of the wax. Okay, so I'm just going to add a rivet right there in the center. That's just my preference. So you don't have to if you don't want to, but I just want to put a little rivet there. So I'm just marking where I'm going to put my rivet. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to sew the other one on, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do the piping on our main panel. So I'll be back after I get this one sewn on. All right, so I have added the rivet to my strap connectors, folded down the raw edge at the top on both, and I also clipped the center down here at the bottom. So now we're ready to prepare our piping to go on our main panel. So you should have your 2 piping strips cut from your exterior and 2 pieces of piping. So this is just some piping cord that I got from Amazon. I'll put the link in the description. And what I do with my pen? Just have my pen.
Which pen?
Just my regular pen. I just set it down. Oh, here it is. Okay, so we're going to mark 3/4 inches from each end of our piping strip. Okay, because that's just going to be where we're going to start and stop our piping. Okay. Okay. So marked. So we just have 3/4 inch on each end, and then I'm going to place double-sided tape. I'm using a half inch double-sided tape. I'm just going to put that right down there in between those marks. And this is the way I do my piping. So if I think in the pattern she uses glue. I just like to use tape. Okay, so whatever your preference is. Okay, and then we're gonna lay that. I'm just gonna center my piping cord right down the center of my piping strip here. Okay, and it should go right to the edge, just about, if I cut it evenly enough. Let me see, bring this back just a little. Okay, make sure. Oops, try that again. There we go. Okay, and then I just bring it together. Okay. And I'm just really focused on pressing it together where the cord is. Just kind of creasing it, so I'm bringing the raw edges together. And then I just give it a good roll here, just to just to kind of press that double-sided tape together right at the piping cord, so that you can really see the piping cord. Okay. Just like that. Okay. So you can leave it like this, or you can choose to sew this, baste this in place. I'm just going to leave this like this. I'm going to do the other piece the same way. If your tape is not holding good, you can baste it down close to the piping. Okay. Again, we're just going to press those raw edges together. If you don't have 1/2 inch double-sided tape, you can use 1/4 inch. Just put 2 strips to hold it down. Or like I said, you can just baste it. You can baste it on. You don't even have to use tape at all. Okay. Just get it secured down. Okay. So now we have that. If it starts to come up. Again, it's this marine vinyl I don't like. I'm just going to go ahead and baste it down. So I could change to my piping foot if I want, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to baste it down. And I'm going to stay close to the edge of my piping strip. I'm not going to even get close to the piping. I just want to baste it down, make sure it stays together. I may change to my piping foot once I get ready to put it all together. Okay, so right now I'm just basting it down, just holding it down, holding it together. So I just put a little basting strip down, basting stitch. All right, so now once I have that together, okay, now I'm going to grab my main panel. So you should have your main panel. It should look like this. Okay, a little rectangular piece. And then there's placement marks, okay, that I do not mark, but I'm going to do that now. For your purse feet. So turn this over and I'm going to mark out where I'm going to put my purse feet real quick. Oh.
I'm dropping stuff now.
Jazzy's looking at me crazy. I don't look at her crazy when she's sneezing all over the place. Okay, so mark it out for your purse feet. Okay, this side here, and mark here, right there. Okay, so now I know where to put my purse feet. Then also, I forgot about where I'm supposed to put these. Okay, and then at the top and bottom edges, we're going to put a line 3/4 inch from the top and 3/4 inches from the bottom. Okay. Let me see, make sure I got these going in the same direction. Yeah, this is my top. Gotta make sure the pattern's going in the right direction. So I'm gonna mark this as the top here so I don't forget. Okay. All right, if you have a directional print, you wanna make sure you do that. Okay, so now we are going to, let's mark the centers here on the sides. So I'm just gonna put a little notch. I'm gonna put a little notch there. And I'm gonna put a little notch on this side. And I'm gonna do the same thing with my piping. Sure you're notching the raw edge side. Okay. And on this one. And now we're going to clip that. So I'm going to start where that midpoint is and just get it clipped on. Okay, matching the raw edges here. And over here. Okay. And I'm going to start and stop about 1 inch. 1 inch from the top and 1 inch from the bottom. So Just marking out 1 inch from the top and bottom. And this is how we're going to get this. So we're going to get this on. I'm going to curve this out away. So folding it out away. And we're going to start at that 1 inch mark. We're going to start basting our piping on. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch out to my piping foot. Okay. If you don't have one, you may want to get one. And if you don't know where yours is, then you're just like me. I have it. I just gotta put that drawer back now. Okay. So I'm gonna quickly switch out. So this piping foot here, I think I got it from sewing machine parts.com, something like that. I don't know. I might be making that up. I got it a while ago. I don't remember. I'll have to look it up. Yeah. It really makes piping so much more enjoyable though. Okay. So we'll get that on really quick. Or in my mind quick, but okay. Get that. Make sure it's tight. Gotta go backwards over here. Okay. So now we have our piping foot on. This is a 1/4 inch piping foot. So they do have them in different sizes depending on how big your piping is. My piping cord is about 1/8 of an inch in diameter. But so it is, when it's all together, it is like 1/4 inch. Okay. So again, I'm gonna just pull this off the edge right at that 1 inch mark. And then I'm gonna just start basting this on close to the piping. Just back stitch a little. Make sure that stays off the edge. And the cord just runs right along that channel, so you don't have to worry about it. And then when I get down here at the bottom, I'm going to bring it out away from the edge right at the 1 inch mark. So I'm just turning it out. Okay, so it looks like this. So you see this part is not attached. It's not attached there. And we can actually just snip that off. So we could just trim this right off. Okay. And then this is going to get folded down. Okay, and then you'll see that, you know, so your piping is not into that top edge. So we'll do the same thing on the other side. So get it clipped on. Let me go ahead and mark the 1 inch marks. And I chose 1 inch. She just says to make sure that you don't go past that 3/4 inch. So I just chose 1 inch just to make sure. Keep it. As long as it's uniform on both sides, then it's okay. Okay. So now I'm going to do this side. Again, pull this away. Get it started here. And then pull it off this side. Okay. And there we go. We have our piping on. I love this Kente print. I've used it a few times before. It's from Sold Out. She hasn't been online for a while, but I hope she comes back because I really like her cultural prints. So, okay. Alrighty, so there we go. Now, what we're gonna do is, so I'm gonna add some double-sided tape here at the top and bottom. And I'm going to fold the raw edge down. Just like we did on the side panels. I'm going to add my purse feet. Okay. I'm just going to fold this down. And do the same thing at the bottom. And then another thing in the pattern, she says that you can add some foam on the base. So if you look at the pattern piece, it marks out the base area. You can add some foam there if you want a cushier bottom, but I did not. So I'm not putting any foam there. There's a stabilizer piece that we're going to add at the end. You can add that before the end if you choose, but I think it's easier to finish the bag, finish the exterior, then add the exterior. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead, get my purse feet on. So I just need to punch the holes here, start my purse feet. I may look and see where I want to put my label. And then we're going to get ready to put our side panels on. And we're almost done with our exterior. Okay, so be back. All right, so we're back and we're going to add our flap next, not our side panels. So I have my flap piece. I put a little piece of 1/8 inch double-sided tape on the back. I marked the center of my flap and I have marked the placement for the flap on the back part of my exterior piece. And I also marked the center. So make sure that you're placing it on what's considered the back, which is the bottom of your exterior. So remember, I marked the top. So this will be the bottom. So that's where the flap is going to go. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to remove the backing on the double-sided tape. And I'm going to place it right at that mark and centered. And get it in place. That's not in the center. I have to look at it from this angle here. Okay, I think that's center. Okay, that's good right there. Okay, all right. And the window of your flap should be even with the exterior. Okay, so that's how you know you have it in the right spot there. Okay, so now we're going to top stitch at 1/8 of an inch and then another row 1/4 of an inch away from the edge. So 2 rows of top stitching. And again, I'm going to leave long tails. So I'm just pretty much starting where putting the needle right where I started, where I top stitched the flap before. Okay, so just making sure I'm getting good. So get going here. So I'm doing the 1/8 of an inch first, making sure both pieces of my flap are even. Okay, making it over to this side. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn, I'm going to do maybe 1.5 stitches on the side, and then I'm going to come back. So now I'm at 1/4 inch from the end. I'm going to pull my tails to the back here. So they're out of the way. And I'm going to do my 1/4 inch. Okay, and pull those tails to the back. Okay, and I'm going to tie those off, but this is what it should be looking like. So you have your 2 rows of top stitching. Okay, and then for me, I'm going to add a rivet in each corner there because I think that it just makes it even more secure. So right in between the stitches, I do it a little. I tell you, I'm just using. Oh, here it is. Okay, so I'm just gonna put just a little mark there and a little mark there, and that's where I'm going to put my rivets there, right there. Okay, so pull those. I'm gonna tie these off and put my rivets. Then we'll be ready to put our side panels on. So once again, I shall return with the Rhoda Bag by DFC. So now we're ready to get our side panel sewn on. So, excuse me, I have one side panel here. I'm going to start by clipping the midpoints together. Okay, so the bottom of the side panel is being clipped to the side of the main exterior. Okay, and then we'll bring it up around to the top. So you may have to add a couple of little snips in the corners to get it to go around these curves. So I'm just adding a couple of snips there, a few snips. I'm going to get it around this curve here. This curve is a little tight, but you can do it. Okay. And then make sure you match it up to the top here. And then just get it eased in. Same thing here. So just right on the side of your exterior, just a couple of snips there, 2, maybe 3 or 4. And get it, bring it up to the top, get the tops clipped, make sure everything's matched up. And then you can start to get the curve in. And ease everything else in. Okay, and once you have it clipped, then we can get it sewn in at a 1/4 inch. I put my piping foot back on. Okay, since we want to go around, we have this piping attached. So I'm just going to start with the side panel up, get it in place there. Okay. Okay, and my piping foot will find the piping and it'll be running right along the little channel. And just using my stiletto to hold everything in place as I start to go around this curve. Keep everything smooth. Reach in, get any excess fabric from underneath there. I'm coming along the other curve. Again, I'm getting everything smooth underneath as I go around the curve, pushing that excess fabric out from underneath. There's no bubbles. Hopefully, it's hard doing piping around the curves like that. So it may not look pretty right now. Okay, and then we'll see what it looks like. And if we have to make any adjustments, we'll make adjustments. So we will see. Turn it out so you can kind of see. Carefully push your piping out. And can see here. I have to make it a little. Okay. I'm going to have to adjust this side a little because it's not even at the top as I like it. But as far as the piping goes, it's looking not so bad there on the sides. Okay, I'm digging this. All right, so I'm just going to adjust this side here. Well, I have this side just a tad bit higher than this one. So I'm just going to adjust that. And then actually, I think the piping is itself. I don't see my basting stitches. And I think I'm just going to leave it. Because I have a feeling if I try to go closer, I'm going to make a mess. So I'm okay. I'm just going to leave that. The only thing I will correct is just this side is just a little higher. Okay. So that's pretty much, that's it for the side panel. I just need to put the other one on, and I'm going to do that. And then what else do we need to do with the exterior? We just pretty much need, so I am going to put a label on. I just don't know where I want to put it just yet. And we do need to put the other part of our magnetic snap on too. So we'll take care of that later, but right now I'm going to put the other side panel on. So we'll be right back with you. All right, so I have both my sides on, and as you can see, it looks a little floppy because we don't have the stabilizer in yet. Okay, so what I'm doing here is, so these sides are kind of going to go in like that, and then I'm bringing the flap down, and the flap, like I said, should be even with the top of the exterior. So I'm just making sure that it's even, and then I just add a couple of clips here to hold it in place. And I'm going to actually use the magnetic snaps on the flap to mark where they should go on the exterior. Okay, and I've already done that. So what I did was I just filled and I just pressed. So here's my snap, and I was just pressing and putting an indentation on my vinyl. And once I got that, I marked it out. And so I'm just going to go ahead and put the other pieces to my magnetic snap onto my exterior. Then we're going to insert our stabilizer. So I'm using Peltex, and the stabilizer pattern piece marks out the bottom so that you can, I scored it so that I have these creases here, and so that it fits right in when I drop it into my exterior. So, but first I'm going to go ahead and get my magnetic snap on. So I'm going to mark out where the prongs go. So where's my mark? So right here. I'll just put a little mark there and a mark there, and then one on this side. You can use the pattern piece too to mark where your snaps go, but I find it's better to just use the flap to do that, because then it's going to be more accurate. So, get my stabilizer up. Okay, so carefully put your slits there and over here. Okay, and then we'll get those inserted. And you can do this before or after you put your stabilizer in. I just chose to do it before, but I am going to put some Peltex on the back so that so it's not just going through to my vinyl. So I'd rather have 2 layers than 1. Okay, so I'm just gonna put that over there, on there. Put my washer. Then I'll add some duct tape. Okay, so now I'm going to get ready to put my stabilizer in. So again, we're going to get it in. We're going to get the bottom situated. Make sure that it's tucked under the seam allowance, not sitting on top of the seam allowance. So you have to push those corners out of the way. Get your stabilizer up underneath. Get it tucked into those corners. And once you get it tucked in down there at the bottom, then start bringing it up and getting it behind the seam allowance on the front and the back. And make sure it's pressed all the way down. And if you need to, you can trim some off if it's too long. But it looks like mine will be okay. So I'm just laying it flat and I'm just pushing it down, sliding it down, making sure it's all the way to the bottom. Okay. All the way at the bottom. Tuck down. So just press it in good. Okay. And do the other side. And once you make sure it's in and that it fits good, then we can go ahead and we're going to glue it. We're going to glue it in place, or just use some double-sided tape. You can use a spray adhesive, whatever you choose. We just want it in place so that's not moving, okay? So let me show you what it's looking like once we close the flap. Get the flap closed. Make sure everything's lined up nice. And this is what it's looking like. That's the shape we want. And I think that's looking really good. The handle's gonna come up through this center part here, connect on the sides, and then we're also gonna have a crossbody strap. So this, I think, is looking so cute. I am going to put my label. Haven't decided if it's going on the front or the back. I think I'm gonna put it on the front here. So I'm gonna get my label in place, and then we're gonna get our our lining going. And we're getting close to finishing up. Well, first, before we do our lining, we do have to sew. I'm gonna go ahead and sew the handle I'm not using vinyl for my crossbody strap. I'm just going to put a chain on it because we're already going to have the handle, and I just thought it, you know, a chain would look nice with it. So I'm going to just put a chain. But if you want to do a handle, the instructions are in the pattern for making a crossbody strap, an adjustable crossbody strap. So I'm really liking this so far. I think it looks so cute. So let's go ahead and I'll be back. Let me get the handle piece together and be right back. All right, look at how good my rotor's looking. I really like how it's coming out, y'all. It's just, it's better than I expected. So I have the stabilizer glued in. I added my label, and now I'm going to do the handle. So I decided to do a two-tone handle. So I have my exterior cut at 1.5 inches wide, and then I have this black at 1 inch. So this is going to be the bottom layer, and then the black will be the top. So I have the center marked. I have double-sided tape. I'm just going to fold into the center, and I'll do the same thing for the black, and then I'm going to put it right on top and top stitch, and that will be our handle. So I just thought it would look nice as a two-tone handle. If you're doing one color, then just go ahead and cut for a 3/4 inch handle. You would just do 3 inches and fold it twice. So I'm just folding the raw edges to the center, and so that's that piece. And I'll do the same thing for the black. And who's playing music out there? Huh, Jazzy?
Mm-hmm.
Who's deciding to serenade us with music?
Is it me?
No.
Oh, it's playing out there?
Yes, it's
Lord.
somebody is. One of my kids is thinking that I need to hear their music. Turn the music please. Thank you. These rotten kids. No, I'm just playing.
I thought you were hearing my earphones.
No, Jess. Okay. So I hope this looks the way I had envisioned in my head. You know, when I first started, huh, Jazzy, I would have paused and said, who's got the music? And now I'm just like, look, y'all understand, I have 7 kids, you know, so sometimes it's just going to be some noise, and I have to whack them over the head to get them. I don't whack y'all over the head. Do I, Jazzy?
Not on camera, Mom.
You rotten kid, you. Okay, so now I'm just putting a piece of double-sided tape right down the center on the wrong side of this piece. And then now I'm going to center the black right over the top. So wrong sides together. So the seams will be facing. And just line that up. And going to center that right down the middle. All right. All right. Yeah. Pop it up right there. All right. So that looks pretty even to me. Let me just make sure. Just trim the little extra. Like that. Okay. So now I'm going to top stitch. I'm going to top stitch on the black at 1/8 of an inch. I haven't checked my bobbin in a minute. Let me check. I've been sewing for quite a while. Let me just make sure. Oh, I got enough. It's holding tight. Okay, so now let's get this top stitched. So right on the black, 1/8. Come down the other side. And across. Okay. All right. So now we have our handle. Have a 3/4 inch handle. Okay, you can also do a 1 inch if that's all you have on hand for hardware. Okay, I kind of like that. I like the way that's looking. Let's see how it looks on the bag. Okay. I'm not going to install it just yet, but I just want to see. So we would get right through our strap connector there. I'm just going to clip it. I thought you said something, Jess. Then be quiet, Jess. Okay. I'm going to clip. I'm just going to put a clip for now. And it's going to come up through there. And then that way. And I'm going to clip that. And again, I'm just seeing what it looks like for now. Okay. And I'll just put a little clip there to see. Wow, that's so cute. I'm dancing.
Not the happy dance.
I'm dancing because I like it. Okay. Oh, I didn't have it pulled all the way up. Oh, that's so cute. I think that's so cute. Okay. Alrighty. So now, I'm going to take this off for now. Let's get ready to do our lining. Okay. So I'm going to set this aside for now. And we're going to get our lining pieces. So I have to get my lining pieces together. And we're going to come back. I'm just going to quickly do the zipper pocket, slip pocket, and then we can do our recess zipper and get everything ready to drop in and top stitch. So let me just grab my pieces so I can have everything here when we get ready to do our pockets. Alrighty, so I have one of my main lining pieces here. You should have 2 of these cut. I'm using waterproof canvas, so no interfacing. But if you're using cotton, then you want to have it interfaced with a woven interfacing. I've already put my zipper overlay in place. It's just on with double-sided tape. I haven't sewn it on yet. And then I have my 2 zipper pocket pieces and my zipper tape. And I have a zipper pull over there somewhere. But anyway, so I'm going to get ready to just sew my zipper tape onto my zipper pocket pieces here. I'm going to lay my zipper tape wrong side down on top of the right side of my zipper pocket piece. And I'm just going to sew that on at 1/4 inch. And I'm just going to go through this fairly quickly. I do have a video for the zipper overlay. And then you can watch so many of my videos where I show you the pockets, the slip pocket. And so, okay. And then I'm just going to bring the seam allowance down and top stitch right onto the lining. This is just my preference for how I do my zipper pockets. There's other ways. I just like this way. Everybody has their preference. Okay, and then I'll do the same thing with the other side. Sewing it on and then top stitching. Alrighty. And now I'm gonna okay, and now I'm going to add some double-sided tape. Just right here in the middle. And then I'll add my zipper pull. I have my zipper pull here. Just going to get that on. Okay. Okay, so now my zipper pocket pieces are ready. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to top stitch around the outside of my overlay, leaving long tails. Pull that to the back. And then I will tie these off and cut this fabric out of the zipper window. And if my fingers will act right. Some days you just have those days when your fingers don't act right. All right. So now I'm going to grab my scissors and I'm just going to, make a snip there, and I'm going to cut this fabric out. And being careful not to cut my overlay. And cut from the back. And now we have the opening for our zipper pocket. We're going to place our zipper pocket in. I like my zipper closing to the left. So that's how I have it situated. Just making sure I'm lined up here evenly. Get it centered in the window. That's not centered. Okay. Right. Oops. Now I can remove the double-sided tape that's on the zipper, remove the backing, and press in place. And the same thing over here. Make sure your zipper pull is in the zipper window, not underneath. Okay. So get that in place. There we go. Now we're going to top stitch around the zipper window. Okay. I like to sometimes mark my little corners here. Make sure I don't go over. Okay. Again, leave long tails to pull to the back and give it a go. You say something, Jazz?
Hmm?
Did you say something?
Mm-mm.
Okay, and I'm going to pull the tail to the back and continue on. Okay, that's done. Keep pulling the wrong thread. Because I can. Okay. Why do I keep pulling the wrong thread? Ay, ay, ay. How did that go? Oh, how I did that? Now am I pulling the right thread? Nope. What in the world happened? Ay, there we go. I kept pulling the wrong thread. Like, what is going on? Don't do that. I get in my crazy sewing moods. All the things happen. Okay. Alrighty. So now I'm going to flip this piece down. Clip that. And since this is a drop-in, then we can just go ahead and close that pocket up. So we're going to trim this extra off the bottom. And we're just going to pull this side back. We're going to sew down one side around the bottom and back up the other side. At about 1/4 inch. Alright, so now our zipper pocket's done. So now we can set that aside. I'm going to grab, this is my slip pocket piece and my slip pocket trim and the other lining piece. And what I've done is I marked the center line on my slip pocket trim. I put a piece of double-sided tape on each side. And on the back of my slip pocket my slip pocket piece, I measured a 1/2 inch on each side. And then I placed a piece of double-sided tape within the seam allowance. And we're going to pull the backing off the double-sided tape. And we're going to fold the raw edges in to meet that line. Okay. So we should be folding in by 1/4 inch on each side. And the long sides. Okay. Okay. And now we're going to bring the short ends together, matching up the raw edges. We'll clip that, making sure the sides are matching up as well. Get everything clipped. And then we're going to baste across to hold it together. Just check and make sure everything's matched up. And then give it a stitch across the top. And once we have that, now we can take our slip pocket trim. Which way do I want? This up. Okay, so and we're going to just center that Leave a little gap. Don't go all the way up to the line. You want to leave a little space there. Okay. And then fold this side down on one end, matching up the raw edges of the slip pocket trim. So match them up on the sides. And then I just take my ruler here and I just get it and match that up like that so that it's even, and I get an even fold there. Okay, so it should look like that. Then we're going to top stitch right along the bottom of our trim. All right, and you should just make sure you caught the front and back. And then we're going to trim the excess off. Flush with the sides of the pocket. Okay, burn any little ends of the thread here that we may have cut. Okay, and now we're ready to get it onto our lining. So I have the center marked on the top of my lining piece here. I'm just going to line up my ruler at the 1 inch mark here. And that's where we're going to place our pocket. So I'm just going to mark the center of my pocket by folding it in half. Give it a little crease there. And get it lined up. Okay. About right there. And then I'll fold this in, add a clip to hold it in place. Add a couple of clips there. Okay. And now I think I will change my bobbin because I think it's low and I don't want to risk. Just put a fresh bobbin in. Now we're going to top stitch our pocket on, starting at the top here. So I'm going to smooth that over, expose this side, and put it start there. So, do a little back stitch at the top. And then across the bottom. And then up the top. Okay, so there's my slip pocket. It's on, it's in place. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to add a rivet in each corner. I'm going to give my little lining pieces, give them a little press there, get some of these wrinkles out. Then we'll be back to do our recessed zipper. So be back. Alrighty, so now I'm back. We're going to get ready to do our recessed zipper. So you should have 2 pieces cut from your exterior and 2 pieces cut from your lining, or you can cut both, all of them from your exterior if you choose to. And you're gonna need your zipper tape and your zipper pull. Okay, so on the back, I'm doing my recess zipper just a little bit different. I learned this method from another bag I made, and I thought, my zipper, my recess zipper came out so good that I said, this is the way I'm gonna adopt from now on. So this is the way I'm gonna do it. So first, you're going to take your exterior and your lining pieces, and you're going to put those right sides together. So let me just mention too, on the back, I have marked out a 1/2 inch on one end, and I placed some double-sided tape, and I did that on all pieces, on all the pieces. And we can go ahead and we can fold that down to the line. So we're folding a 1/4 inch on each end here. Okay, so let's do that first. So we make sure we're matching up the right ends. Oops. Okay. So that's one. And then we do the same thing with our lining pieces. And you could for sure follow the pattern. It's no problem with it at all. When I find a way, when I learn a new way that works so well though, I really like it, and I really want to continue doing it. Okay, so now we have the raw edges folded in on one side. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, again, we're going to place them right sides together, make sure the folded ends are on the same side, and we're going to take these raw edges here on the short end, and we're going to sew across at a 1/4 inch. So just across these short edges. So match up one exterior and one lining piece. So 1/4 inch. And however much you do this, whatever the seam allowance is going to depend on whatever pattern you're working on. Okay. Okay, so we have that one, and then now this one. Okay. All right, so now we have that. We're going to, let me just make sure, because I want these to be going in the same, I want to make sure they're matched up correctly. So this is how I want. Okay. I really wanted it to go the other way because I sewed the wrong sides because I wanted my vinyl to be making sure it's going with how my, no, it's correct. It's correct. Okay, I got it right. Never mind. Never mind. Okay, so I want this side, so I want my zipper to be in the middle of the two like this. Okay, and before we do that again, now we need to mark the raw edges. No, we already have them. We already did that. Folded in dirt. Sorry, I'm forgetting already. Okay, so now we're going to split this apart, and we're going to take one of the pieces here, put your zipper down right sides together, and we're going to match it up. So the teeth of the zipper should be right at that seam. Okay, so just place it right at the seam, and we're going to clip it in place, and we're going to base that down. So 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. We're just basting it down. Okay, so that one will be like that, and then we'll take the other piece and we'll do the same thing. So right at the seam, I thought I had my vinyl, the print going in the wrong direction, but I did not. Thank goodness. Okay, so then that's what it's going to look like. So we're going to base that in place. You can either baste it or you can use some double-sided tape to hold it. Doesn't matter, whichever is best for you. So now we have that one basted. We're going to baste this one. Okay. And I should mention too that I already have my zipper prepared and the zipper teeth were already at the 90-degree. I already did that part, so I didn't show that part. Let me just make sure these are lined up. Looking good. Okay, so now once you have that, you can fold the lining piece back down, line it up. So line up the folded edges, make sure it's lining up and matching up with the exterior. Your zipper is in between, and we just clip it, and then we're going to sew this on. I'm going to sew it on at 1/4 inch. If you prefer to sew yours at 3/4, you can do that, but I'm going to sew at 1/4 inch. Okay, and I stopped right at the seam here that I had here, back stitch there. Okay, and we'll do the same thing with this one. So match it up. Sewn 1/4 inch. Okay, so now we have those sewn on. So trim off this corner here. Remove some of this bulk here. Be careful, don't trim your stitches. So I'm just trimming off this bulky corner here. And if it's too bulky down here, you can even trim just a little snip down here if you want in your vinyl to remove some of that bulk down there as well. You could just give it a little snip right in the corner there. Okay, because now we're going to open this up. Okay, push this corner out. Okay, so pull it out good, but gentle. Be gentle. You don't want to rip anything. And I'm just going to push it out. Okay, when it looks good. Okay, now I'm just going to match up these raw edges here. Okay, make sure these match at the bottom. And then give a good tug, pull my zipper back away from there. Make sure it's pulled good. Okay. So see, I have quite a bit of my zipper tape showing because I do a 1/4 inch. So if you want it closer, you can do 3/8. Okay. So now I'm going to start here on the raw edge and I'm going to top stitch around the whole thing. Okay, so 1/2 is done. I have 1/2 done there, and now I'll do the same thing with this one. So push that corner out really good. And bring the raw edges together. Okay, and we'll give it a good top stitch. You can see it's just, I didn't push it out good right there. Hold on. There we go. Alrighty, so now we can see how well we've done. We'll put our zipper pull on. So matching up here. Get our zipper pull on, and hopefully it all lines up. Haha. I think this method works really good for me. Okay, so now we have our recessed zipper done. Now we can start putting our lining together. Okay, so we are going to mark the centers here on our recessed zipper. And put a little snip there, and then here. Okay. So we have these lining top band pieces. We're going to turn those over, and we're going to mark a 3/4 inch line down one side. Okay. So since this is a solid print, it doesn't matter which side, but it should be the top side. Okay, so we have that. So this is going to be the part, the top where that gets folded down for our drop in. Okay, so I'm just going to put a T for top, so I know. Okay, and now we're going to take our our lining with the zipper pocket. Make sure our zipper is going in the same direction as the one on our zipper pocket. And then we're just going to match up the midpoints here. And we're going to base our recessed zipper on this piece. We can take our zipper pull off. We can take this one off here, and we'll match it up with the one with the slip pocket, and we're going to base that in place. And then so get that basted on. Okay, so we have that one, and then now we'll do this one. All right, now that we have that basted on, then we'll take our lining. So remember, this is going to be the top. So we want to turn it upside down, and we're going to sew the bottom part on to the lining. So right sides together. Okay. We can mark the midpoints to make sure we're getting it all right. Okay. And clip it in place, and we're going to sew it on at 3/8 of an inch. Get the zipper tails out the way, and sew. Got to change my stitch back. do the same with this one. Okay, right sides together. Oops. All right, and then 3/8. Okay. Now we're going to top stitch. So we're going to bring the lining. Oh, got a little thread here. Hold on a second. Little thread there. Okay. All right, so we're going to bring the recessed zipper and this contrast band. We're going to push that up so that the seam allowance is going down towards the lining, and we're going to top stitch through the lining. Right at the seam, 1/8 of an inch from the seam. Okay, so that's one side. So we have that top stitched, and that's our recessed zipper there. And we'll do the same thing for this one. So push that down. And we'll top stitch. All right, now that we have that done, we're going to place them right sides together. Okay, make sure you get those tails out of the way. I'm going to just tuck those in. Get those out. And put a little clip to hold them out of the way. Because we're going to do the sides now. So we're going to sew the sides down at 3/8 of an inch. Make sure you match up the seams on the side. Okay. Get it the best you can. Okay. Sew this side down at 3/8. It stays together. Alrighty, I think I popped my thread there. Alright, let me check. Alright. So we'll sew the other side at 3/8. Make sure everything is matched up. Get it all matched up. Look like my cutting's a little off here. Just a bit off. But nothing that can't be fixed. Okay. Okay. So it looks like I got my sides are not matched up over here on this side. So I'll make sure I straighten that up. Okay, but I'm not going to worry about it just yet. So once you have the sides done, now we're going to sew the bottom. We're going to sew the bottom at 1/4 inch. So just make sure your bottom is lined up. And we'll do that, like I said, at 1/4 inch. Clip it if you choose. I'm just going to go get it sewn. Yep, so my cutting is off, and I don't know what I did there. Don't know how I did it, but I did it. I'm just gonna clean this up because it's off right there. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to box the bottom by bringing these seams together on the side. So the bottom seam and the side seam, they're gonna get matched up. So you can open up those seams, or you can nest the seams. It's your choice. But I'm just going to, well, I'm going to go ahead and nest. So I got one seam going to this side and the other I'm pushing to that side. And then I'm going to settle them right there together so that they're meeting up there. Not my best cutting job, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what I was doing. I know, probably rushing something. I don't know, but okay. So now we're gonna sew this part at 1/4 inch as well. I don't know, maybe Jazzy cut it. Maybe she cut it when I wasn't looking. She been known to cut up.
No, you need to edit that one out.
I thought it was funny, girl. I thought it was funny. Let's trim that to even that up some. Yeah, I thought it was funny. Okay, and we'll do the same thing over here. So I'm just, and I trimmed that. My stitches came loose right there. Let me stitch that back up. Did I pull my thread out? I sure did. Okay, I must be getting tired. It's been a long day. I know. I did. I got up early so I could watch tennis. Okay, so now I make sure the seams are going in the right direction. Okay, get that clipped in the middle here. Pull these corners out and get them lined up. And go ahead, 1/4 inch there. Okay, so now we have that done. We have completely sewn our lining. And like I said, I just need to make sure that this is straight. So I'm going to recheck my measurements here on the top here. Let me just make sure. See, because it's lining up there, which maybe then that means it was a little off here. And then that means I'm going to have to adjust my 3/4 inch line, because all of that's lined up. It's right here where it went a little wonky. Okay, so I'm going to correct that, and we will get ready to get our lining dropped in and top stitched, and then install our handle, and we're pretty much done. That will be it. So I need to just put my hardware on my zipper end, and we will be right back. All right, so off camera, I went ahead, I dropped in my lining, and so I folded the raw edge down to the 3/4 inch line, and I dropped it in. I got it all clipped, and it's looking pretty good. So now we just need to top stitch. So, you know, the fun part. So I'm going to start where I like to start, back here on the back. Got to fold that flap out of the way. And this is not good. It's going to be a little bit tricky on this flatbed. Just make sure this recessed zipper is out of the way. And plus we have that stabilizer in there. So it's a little stiff, but I think we're going to do it. So let me get in position here to get started. Drop my needle in and leave long tails, and take a deep breath and let's go. So I have my pliers here I'm going to use to hold it down, and I'm ready to go. So now I'm going to rotate it a bit, press down, everything out of the way, and I'm on one of these little corners here where I have these seams. So I just want to push those seams in and give it a little squish with my pliers and settle over that. Just keep rotating it. Back over here to another Just, this part's a little, oh, I have my connector there. So I want to make sure that my connector is pushed down and out of the way. Okay. Just keep rotating and push down everything out of your way. Make sure your recessed zipper is not in the way. Okay, I'm back over here to another seam that I want to get. Just squish it down a little. Press it down. Okay. So far, so good. Keep that flap out of the way. Okay, so I'm ready to rotate it again. Just make sure your needle stays down when you do that. Connector flip down. Almost there. All right, back where we started. Woo! We made it, we made it, we made it. Okay, so there, I'm gonna pull these threads out. All right, so let's take a look and see what we got. Let's get it all straightened back up. Okay. Looks pretty good. This is just a stray thread I did cut. Okay. But it looks pretty good. I'm not mad at it. Where's my stuff? Just gotta get it shaped properly. And there, I'm not mad at that. Oh, alrighty. It's looking pretty good, y'all. Looking pretty good. Let's make sure it's even and straight and we're good. Okay, so wow. All right, I like that. All right, so once again, what I usually do is I pull my threads through. So Jazzy will just get this part if you want to see it. So I just take my big needle here and I get this threaded with all the threads. And then I will come through one of these holes right in the middle, right up through the middle, and then bring it up through the seam. Oops, there we go. Right up through the seam. Pull that snug. Make sure all the threads are pulled snug there. And then just tie it off. Just tie it off right there. And then I just add a little dab of glue in there once I cut it. Okay. Okay. I usually just take my stiletto, put a little glue on there. Get a little glue. Just using this Fabric-Tac glue. And I just run it right there on the stitches. Just get it down in there. Just like that. And push it down good. And then just give it a little squeeze. Make sure they stay down. All right. So now I'm going to put my zipper pull back on. Then I'm going to put my zipper end on and put my handle. I'm going to put the chain on and see how that looks. If I don't like the way it looks with the chain, then I can always add a strap later. Okay. But right now, let's put our handle on. So I'm going to grab my handle. Get it in place. I think I'm just going to do about an inch there. And then just rivet it on. Yeah, forgot. We got to go. No, that's right. Sorry. Okay, and about an inch there. Okay, so I'm going to punch the hole for the rivet, get it riveted on, and like I said, these sides get cinched in like that. Pull that up, and we're basically done there. I think it's rather cute. Just make sure sides are in good. And look how it looks there from the top. That looks good. So cute. So cute. Okay, so like I said, let me go get the handles riveted on, put my zipper end on, and we'll be back for a final look at our Rhoda bag by DFC Bag Patterns. All right, y'all, the Rhoda bag is done and she's a cutie. Look at that. Oh my goodness. And you know what? If I were carrying this bag, I would just carry it by the handle. I just like how that looks. I mean, but I like the way the chain looks with it too. Got the purse feet on the bottom. It's so adorable. I like how you get the little peekaboo of the recessed zipper in there. And it's so secure because you have the flap and then you have the recessed zipper. And then you have this space, all this space in here. And love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so what do y'all think? The Rhoda Bag by DFC Bag Patterns. I like it. Okay. So that's the end of the tutorial. I appreciate you all watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. As always, the pattern link will be in the description, as well as the materials I used for this project. Please get the pattern if you like it. I did make a few modifications, minor modifications, that I think will make it much easier for you to sew. So I hope you give it a try. Till next time, see you at Soulful Creations.